Hello lovely! In this video we're gonna give you model answers and vocabulary about cooking. Yes, a recent IELTS Speaking Part 1 topic. I'm Maria.
And my name is Rory, and we're here... Always the good start. And my name is Rory, and we're here to help prepare you for IELTS Speaking and have a little fun along the way.
We're gonna spice this episode with a punch of saffron or perhaps rosemary.
Do you mean we're going to spice this episode up with a pinch of saffron?
Yes, what did I say?
You said we're going to spice this episode with a punch of saffron. So now I have this image of you with like a fist covered in spices just hitting somebody in the face.
With a pinch of saffron. Like a pinch of salt, dear listener. A pinch, yeah. A punch is like a punch. Yeah, so no punches, just a pinch of, what else do I have? Some nice, thyme. A pinch of thyme.
Oh, you're calling it thyme. It's thyme. This is great. Just censor
Okay.
and keep going, because this is great, because lots of people won't know how to pronounce these words, so we can just say, I mean thyme.
Not thyme, like thyme, the spice.
The spice. Well, is it a spice or is it a seasoning?
Seasoning, yeah, all these, spices that I have here. And saffron is this one. And it's from Baku, so it's the real saffron that I wasted. It was actually very expensive.
I was going to say, it's like a really, really small bag.
We're gonna focus on cooking. Hopefully you enjoy cooking. Rory, do you like cooking?
I like cooking the recipes that I know, which are not many, as we're about to find out. However, shall we get cooking? Let's get cooking with gas, which Europe doesn't have that much of right now. Anyway, moving on.
Do you like cooking?
Well, I like whipping up things that I'm good at cooking, which is a painfully small number now that I think about it. Otherwise, it's just ready meals, which aren't particularly healthy, are they?
What's the secret ingredient in any dish?
Is it...
Love.
I knew you were going to say that. It was just on the tip of my tongue, and then I was like, no, it couldn't possibly be anything quite so cheesy. Cheesy. It's a food metaphor or a food idiom.
What's the secret ingredient of our podcast? Love.
No, it's Maria making me do things that I don't want to do.
Okay, let's carrot on. Let's carry on. Carrot on. Yes, understand that? Carrot cooking.
It's going to be like this for the whole 20 minutes. So I'm sorry. We've got 10 more to go, and still it's all just food
also,
references.
I've got a joke.
Oh, God.
And listener, when you understand English humor and all these like puns and stupid jokes, this means that you have a high level of English. You are this, chef of English.
Was that the joke?
No. That's the chef of English. No,
okay.
No, the joke is coming.
Bad for not laughing
Wait.
there.
I have one more. So you listen to this podcast and you expand your horizons.
Whereas I am expending all of my energy, not just dying on the spot.
Let's carrot on and expand our horizons. Sorry.
No, you're not. You're not sorry. I know this is what you do. You spend time thinking, whipping things up, cooking up ways of making me cringe.
So, Rory, you said that I like whipping things up or whipping up, whip up. What did you mean by this?
If you whip something up in the kitchen, it's just another way of saying you cook something just based on what's around you. But you could use it more generally to talk about cooking, and the examiner will know what you mean.
Yeah, for example, we usually say whip up eggs. Whisk the eggs. Yeah, we say whisk the eggs.
Yes, you whisk the eggs. You don't whip them. If you whipped your eggs, they would break. That wouldn't be very nice.
Yeah, but a whip is like... what do we usually whip? Which ingredients, which...
Can we please
products?
add a whip sound effect for Maria doing the whip?
Whip. Learn your grammar. Learn the vocabulary. Buy our premium.
You can tell like the different styles of teaching from this exchange. Where I'm quite laid back, Maria's just like, "Where'd you learn the grammar?"
So what do you whip?
Let us not dwell on that too much. You do not. You whip up. You whip up food, or you whip up a meal from what you have available. You whisk eggs when you have this beater and you whisk them around.
So you whip up a meal means you make a meal. You cook a meal. Whip up a meal.
It could be cooking. Maybe you have things that are already cooked.
I'm good at cooking. I'm not good at cooking.
I am not good at cooking. Ask anyone I have ever cooked for. The survivors.
And dear listener, you can also say that I don't usually cook, but if I do, it helps me relax. Cooking is a stress reliever. I find it therapeutic. So cooking is therapy.
Or
so
in my
makes me
case, it's
relaxed.
anti-therapy and I find it extremely stressful. Just because I know lots of cooking words does not make me a good cook. In fact, it maybe replaces all the information I should have to make me a good cook.
What do you usually cook?
Well, I don't have much time to throw things together with lots of ingredients, so anything with eggs, like scrambled eggs or omelets, that are relatively easy to just throw into, well, it could be thrown into a pan or a microwave, and that brings everything together nicely in the space of just a few minutes.
Rory, you mentioned scrambled eggs.
Yes,
and
there are
omelette.
different kinds of eggs, or different kinds of things we can do with eggs. Scrambled eggs, when you whisk them up with other things, you can make them in a pan, but I cook mine in a microwave because I'm a complete Philistine and I don't have time to sit around cooking eggs.
Excuse me? You cook eggs in a microwave?
Yes.
Rory style
You don't look
eggs.
very happy with me.
No.
Sorry.
Yeah, and then you can say, I don't have much time.
Hold on. What's wrong with cooking eggs in the microwave? Why does everyone always look at me like I'm, personally responsible for the death of Princess Diana when I say that? What's the problem with that?
Because you have a frying pan and you fry your eggs and you use a frying pan.
You don't use a
microwave.
frying pan always to scramble your eggs. You can use a saucepan to scramble your eggs if you wanted
No,
to.
this is really weird. Dear listener, if you think that cooking eggs in a microwave is a little bit crazy, could you write down
Why
in
is
the
it
comments
crazy?
what you think about this?
I don't understand. Why is it crazy?
We can say cook
Hold on,
a
no, we
dish
cannot. Get
or
back to the
make
point.
a dish. So cook up a dish, right? Or make a meal, right? So I usually make lasagna or pasta or different kinds of omelets, salads. So make or cook, these verbs are all fine. Or you can say I focus on the ingredients.
Do
right?
you focus on the ingredients?
Oh yeah, absolutely. First I buy them, then I kind of mix them all together, and I focus only on the task at hand. I get my hands dirty. It gets more physical. All this is whooshing and whisking and whipping. Would you like to learn how to cook?
Well, I picked up a few recipes from my mum, who did most of the cooking when I was younger, at least most of the cooking in our family when I was younger. Otherwise, these days, when I even glance at a cookbook, my eyes just sort of slide off the page and I can't take any of it in.
You said that you picked up a few recipes. Yeah, so you picked up, you learned a few recipes, right?
Yes,
From
and
somebody.
you publicly criticized me for cooking my eggs in the microwave, and I demand an explanation why that's weird.
Because you see, Rory, when we have a frying pan, we have a little bit of olive oil. So, and how olive oil connects to the eggs in a freaking frying pan, right? So it's just the chemistry happens, the magic happens.
Magic can happen in the microwave, and in the microwave,
it's artificial. The air is everything's like electricity. Oh, scrambled eggs with electricity.
No, electricity.
Yum,
the
yum,
thing
yum.
that enables us to record this podcast. Come on, I have a very busy life. And when the eggs are cooking in the microwave, I can go and take my bins out. I can tidy the kitchen. Why do I have to stand at the stove and do everything there?
Takes 2 minutes.
It takes 4 minutes. No, it doesn't. It takes 6. But that's not the point. I just like to get things done, and I don't like to stand still.
So when you learn some recipes from somebody, you say, I picked up a few recipes from my mom, from my father, from my friends, and I do most of the cooking. So do the cooking. Okay, is a nice one.
I picked up some tips from Maria about not cooking with a microwave.
You can also say that I use a cookbook or a recipe book. So a recipe, recipes. We follow a recipe. Or, for example, you can say I sometimes come up with recipes myself. So I kind of make them myself. I create them. So I come up with some recipes myself to create special dishes. Who usually does the cooking in your family?
Well, like I said, my mum was the first port of call back in the day when it came to cooking things. Although laterally, my little brother, who isn't so little these days, became a pretty good cook as well. Actually, he's a better cook than me by far, to be honest with you.
What did you mean when you said that your mom is the first port or the first port of call?
The first port of call is the first person that you speak to or go to do something or to help with something or to ask questions about something. So my mum is the first port of call for me when it comes to cooking. Maria is the first port of call for me when it comes to silly questions about conditionals because I know nothing about them. And Vanya is the first port of call for me when I make a huge mistake when we're recording the podcast and we have to fix it.
Yeah, we also use words a cook and a chef. Rory, what's the difference?
A chef is a job, and a cook is just you're a cook in your own kitchen, for example.
So you can say, I'm not a good cook, I'm a good cook. My mother is by far the best cook in our family. But a chef is like Gordon Ramsay, Jamie Oliver. They are famous chefs.
They're famous. Moving swiftly on.
Okay, and the joke. Okay,
Oh,
the
God,
joke.
is
Are you
there a
ready?
joke?
Are you ready for the joke? Yes.
No, I'm not ready,
So-
but you're going to do it anyway.
So a chef is the main person in the kitchen, right? Okay, so the question is, so what did the chef cook to make the fruits dance in the kitchen?
I have no idea. Cook up a storm?
Oh, that's a good one. Cook up a storm, like
But
start
it's
a
not
storm.
that.
No. What did the chef cook to make the fruits start dancing in the kitchen?
just-
A plum salsa. A plum salsa, dear listener. Salsa is this dance, the nice dance. So the chef made a plum salsa to make fruits start dancing.
Thank God this is success with IELTS and not success with humor, because otherwise it would be more like failure with humor.
Dear listener, when you understand silly jokes and English humor, this means that you've got a high level of English.
It also means you've got too much time on your hands.
Let's carry it on. What do you usually do around the house?
Well, probably just about all of the household chores you'd care to name, really, since I live by myself, which usually means they get done more quickly. However, it does mean that I have to do everything, so it's just me working my way down the tick list.
Things around the house could be called chores. Household chores. CH. Yeah, a bit strange.
Household jobs.
And Rory works his way down the tick list. A tick list.
My family are notorious for our tick lists. Hold on, I wonder if I've got an example that I can share with the public. No, I
come
cannot
on.
because all of my diaries
Aw.
contain extremely personal information. So basically, it's a big list of jobs to do that I have for every day, and when I do it, I tick them off. And it is a family tradition that I didn't think I would find myself living up to, or I would find myself living through, but there you go, I'm doing it, it's now part of my life.
And you can also say that some chores, some housework takes up a lot of time, and some chores take up less time. So take up time. Yeah, a lot of time, less time.
But if it's just you, then it should take up less time. And because like one person, how much, I don't know, how much mess does one person generate? If you're me, not that much. Pardon me.
Bless you.
Thank you.
If you're Maria, you generate a lot of mess. Mental mess, physical mess. So,
Hot mess.
do you like housework?
Well, does anyone? If I could buy a robot or hire a housekeeper to do everything for me, then I would. Although it's prohibitively expensive right now, which is always the deciding factor in these kinds of things.
Do you like housework? What a crazy question. Rory, you used a really nice structure, like, if I could buy a robot or hire a housekeeper is the person who does housework, right? Or a robot. And then you said that robots are prohibitively expensive.
Housekeepers are prohibitively expensive. Outside of... the housekeeper I had in Russia was pretty cheap and very good at her job. Hello, Olga, if you're watching. I miss you dearly.
So use the strategy. If I could, I'd hire a housekeeper or I'd buy a robot to do the housework. We do housework, right?
We do the housework, or if you're like Olga, you do my housework, or you did my housework until I moved back to Scotland. Now I have to do it myself.
Cooking adds endorphins in our life, but housework, I don't think so. Housework doesn't give us this, positive vibes. Or maybe some people enjoy housework, like you clean for 1 hour and then everything is clean and then you're, hey, a sense of achievement.
And then everything gets messy again.
And Rory, are you ready for another joke? About a French chef.
I've not been ready for any of them, and now you're waving a spoon at me.
Okay, so what did the French chef give his wife for Saint Valentine's Day? A hug and a kiss. A kiss, dear listener. A kiss. This is a kiss. So a kiss. So a French chef gave a kiss.
That was relatively funnier than the other jokes.
Thank you very much for listening. Hopefully your inner chef was really happy when you were listening and watching this episode. Please let us know what you think about cooking, about Rory's special way of making eggs in a microwave.
Bye.